All right, so I have a lot of work, and I know it. I got a ton of work to do on this boat. I've signed up for that. I just absolutely know it. The best way for me to understand everything I need to do to something is to first clean it. Because then I see all the details, I see what I need to get at, I find things that I never would have found before, just going through cleaning everything. So I'm going to start today with the motor because I already know there's a couple of things I need to address there. So let's get to that right now. All right, we're back at the boat in the morning, and it's time to start some chores. Gotta start cleaning, so I've got the dock cart full of cleaning supplies, and let's go ahead and get in the boat, and I'll tell you what we're gonna do next. First today, it's going to be all about detailing that engine so that I know what type of things I need to do to the motor, because that's kind of the most important thing. And so detailing it, getting it cleaned up, then we'll do an oil change, we'll change the impeller, things like that. But first, we're going to get to cleaning that engine, and I'll show you how I do that next. Okay, so the first thing we need to do getting this engine clean is actually getting access to that motor, and it is under the steps here, so I'm going to go ahead and pull the steps away. And I'll show you what that engine looks like right now, and then we'll kind of go through what I'm doing to detail it and what it looks like after. Okay, we got a little view into the engine here, and you can see it's quite a bit of dirt and grime on it from many years of not being cleaned, and but overall actually it looks pretty clean. There's not like a buildup of rust. We've got the water pump here that probably needs a little bit of attention because I can see it's dripping down here, and so we'll probably replace the gasket on the water pump there and take a look at that, change the impeller at the same time, and we'll check the status of the belts. We'll do a oil change, but first we want to get this sucker cleaned up, so let's start on that. Okay, so what harsh chemicals am I using? I'm not really using too harsh of chemicals. So this is what I've always used at my motorcycle shop as well for detailing and cleaning engines, and it's called Power Purple. I buy it in like a 5-gallon jug of it, and then you can mix it up however you want. So this is 100% Power Purple. You can mix it like 50-50. You can also even dilute it further. If it's at 100% and you put it on aluminum parts, it can sort of etch the surface, so you don't want to do that. It's more of a, there's a couple of other brands like this, and a lot of them are based on like a citrus. They get the oils from the peels of like oranges and things like that, and use that. And then little brushes. This is the first brush I'm going to use, and then on some of the brass parts, I've got a little brass brush, and then a stainless steel brush for some stainless steel parts as well if I need to clean those up, and another harder plastic brush for some tough to get spots. All little tiny brushes, that's it. And then a whole thing of shop rags, and then I've got some other rags that are like microfiber rags for cleaning up, but I want to put a bunch of those rags down underneath so I'm not getting that grime down into the bilge. And I'm not really going to soak it down a ton. Basically, I'm just going to spray a bit on and let it soak, and then I'm going to use my brushes to clean it up. I'm going to do one part at a time like that right there. So that's soaked down, and then I'll use my brush to kind of clean that up, and it'll take a little while. So I've got my brush here and basically just start cleaning it, and it's going to take a while, and then we'll go over it with you're not even seeing what I'm doing. So just using that brush on there and getting into all the nooks and crannies and letting it soak in. When we get done with that, we're going to go over it with a little bit of water and a towel and clean it up. And that's kind of the way it goes on all these parts, just like that. And I will show you how that ends up looking here in a minute. Alrighty, well, we've done some engine cleaning here and give you guys an idea. So, engine compartment's a bit cleaner. Cleaned out around the engine compartment as well as the engine itself, and if you can tell, it is quite a bit cleaner now. much nicer. There are some spots we'll have to come back and do some touch-up paint like that. And this water pump, which is leaking. And what we'll do is come back and replace the gasket there for the water pump and the impeller. We'll take a look and see if it leaks after that. Could replace the whole thing. I think I'll buy a second one just as a backup. Just a few spots of touch-up paint needed, and motor is looking good. That is the engine compartment. Pretty simple, pretty easy. And then I did the last part of this bilge here, cleaning out underneath here and through there with a little bit of simple green around there so that it smells nice. That's the engine compartment. Next up, we need to clean the rest of the bilge and clean all that out so it doesn't have that bilge smell. And so I think that's up next. That or the name. So need to turn the boat around so I can get access to the back of the boat and take the old name off and put the new one on. Anyways, I'm going to catch you guys next time. See you soon. One of the last things I did is I stuck this tray underneath the motor. You can see it there just over on the bottom, just to collect any water from that water pump in case I start it up and turn the boat around. I just don't want that leaking in the bilge anymore now that it's nice and clean. Anyways, guys, we will see you next week when I am working on... It's either that toilet that doesn't work. Thank you very much, Inspector. Or maybe we get to clean that entire bilge, or I go through... probably that, or the name. Got to put the name on there. You want to know what the name is? Stay tuned next week. I will announce that.